Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a poor girl named Lily. She had no mother or father. She lived in a tiny old house with her sick grandmother. Every day, she worked hard to find food and take care of her grandmother. But no matter how hard life was, Lily always had a bright smile. One cold winter night, Lily sat by the fire, holding her grandmother's hand. "Grandma, don't worry. I will take care of you. One day, we will have a warm house, good food, and happiness." Her grandmother smiled weakly and said, "My dear child, your heart is full of kindness. That is more precious than gold." But life was not easy. The village people did not help Lily. Some even laughed at her old clothes and bare feet. But she never felt hate in her heart. She always believed, if I stay kind, good things will happen. One day, while searching for food in the forest, Lily saw an old man sitting under a tree. He looked hungry and tired. She had only one piece of bread in her pocket. She was hungry too, but she walked to the man and said, "Sir, please take this bread." The old man looked at her with kind eyes and said, "Child, you are hungry too. Why are you giving me your food?" Lily smiled. "You need it more than I do." The old man took the bread and ate slowly. Then he held Lily's hands and said, "Kind girl, your heart is pure. Remember, kindness will always return to you." Then he stood up and walked away. That night, Lily returned home. Her grandmother was feeling worse. Lily held her close and whispered, "Grandma, I met a kind old man today. He blessed me. Maybe something good will happen." The next morning, something strange happened. A rich merchant came to the village. He was looking for a lost ring. He announced, "Whoever finds my ring will get a big reward." Lily thought, "If I find the ring, I can get food and medicine for Grandma." She started searching everywhere. After hours of searching, she saw something shining near the river. She ran and picked it up. It was the ring. Excited, she rushed to the merchant and said, "Sir, is this your ring?" The merchant's eyes widened. "Yes, this is my ring. You found it. Dear girl, tell me, what reward do you want?" Lily thought for a moment and said, "Sir, I only want food and medicine for my grandmother." The merchant looked surprised. "Is that all? You don't want money, clothes, or a big house?" Lily shook her head. "My grandmother is everything to me. If she is well, I am happy." The merchant was touched. He smiled and said, "You are a rare gem, child. Come with me." He took Lily and her grandmother to his grand house. There, he gave them warm clothes, delicious food, and the best medicine. The grandmother felt better day by day. One day, the merchant called Lily. "Child, I have no daughter. You have a pure heart. Would you like to live with me and be my family?" Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Sir, I only want to take care of my grandmother." The merchant smiled. "Then bring her too. From today, you both are my family." Tears rolled down Lily's cheeks. She looked up at the sky and whispered, "Thank you." From that day, Lily and her grandmother lived a happy life. She never forgot her past, and she always helped the poor. People in the village, who once laughed at her, now respected her. One day, when she walked through the village, she saw a little boy sitting alone, shivering in the cold. She knelt beside him, took off her warm scarf, and wrapped it around him. The boy looked up and whispered, "Why are you helping me?" Lily smiled, just as she always did, because kindness always comes back. Lily's life changed, but her heart remained the same, even though she now had a warm home, good food, and a loving family. She never forgot what it felt like to be hungry, lonely, and cold. She still went to the village every day, helping those in need. One evening, as she was walking through the marketplace, she saw a woman sitting by the road, holding a little child. The woman looked tired, and the child was crying softly. Lily's heart ached. She knelt beside them and gently asked, "Are you okay?" The woman wiped her tears. "My husband was a farmer, but he died last winter. I have no money, no food, and no home. My child is hungry." Lily felt a deep pain in her heart. She knew what it was like to be in this woman's place. Without thinking twice, she held the woman's hands and said, "Come with me." The woman hesitated. "But I have nothing to give you." Lily smiled. "You don't need to give me anything. When I was poor and alone, someone helped me. Now, I want to help you." Lily took them to her home, gave them warm food, and let them stay in a small room. The woman cried in gratitude, but Lily simply said, "One day, when you are strong again, help someone else. That is all I ask." Days passed, and soon, the woman found work. She started smiling again, and her child laughed and played. One day, she hugged Lily and said, "I will never forget your kindness. You saved our lives." Lily just smiled and said, "Kindness is like a candle. If you light another candle, your own flame does not become smaller. Instead, the light grows. But life always brings new challenges." One day, Lily's grandmother became very sick again. The best doctors were called, but they said, "She is old and her time is near." Lily sat by her grandmother's bed, holding her hand. Tears filled her eyes. "Grandma, don't leave me. I need you." Her grandmother smiled weakly and touched Lily's face. "My dear child, you have grown into a wonderful person. You have a heart full of love. I am proud of you." Lily sobbed, "But I don't want to lose you." Her grandmother whispered, "No one stays forever, my child, but love never dies. Whenever you help someone, whenever you show kindness, I will be with you." That night, Lily's grandmother closed her eyes peacefully and left the world. Lily cried for days. She felt lost, but then she remembered her grandmother's words. She looked up at the sky and whispered, "I will keep spreading love. I will make you proud." From that day, Lily dedicated her life to helping others. She built a small home for orphans, so no child would have to feel alone like she once did. She helped poor farmers, so they would never go hungry. She gave warmth, love, and hope to all who needed it. One day, an old man came to see her. It was the same man she had given bread to in the forest long ago. He smiled and said, "I told you, child, kindness always comes back. Look at what you have done. You have changed so many lives." Lily smiled, her eyes shining with tears. "I only did what my heart told me." The old man nodded. "And that is why you are rich not in gold, but in love." Years passed, and Lily became known as the angel of the village. People loved her, not because she was rich, but because her heart was pure. One evening, as she walked through the village, she saw a little girl sitting alone, shivering in the cold. She knelt beside her and wrapped her own shawl around the child. The little girl looked up and whispered, "Why are you helping me?" Lily smiled, just as she always did, because kindness always comes back. Dear friends, remember, no matter how small an act of kindness is, it can change someone's life. Never stop being kind. The love you give will always return to you in ways you never imagine. Years passed, and Lily's kindness spread far beyond the village. People from nearby towns heard about the girl who helped the poor, the sick, and the lonely. Some came just to see her, to thank her, or to seek her advice. But Lily never thought of herself as special. One day, a young boy ran up to her, breathless. Miss Lily, there's a man outside the village. He's hurt and needs help." Without wasting a second, Lily grabbed a basket of food and medicine and rushed to find the man. He was lying under a tree, weak and covered in dust. His clothes were torn, and his face was tired. Lily knelt beside him and touched his forehead. "You have a fever," she said softly. "Don't worry, I will help you." She gave him water and some warm soup from her basket. The man looked at her with tired eyes. Why are you helping me? You don't even know me." Lily smiled, the same warm smile she had given to so many before. "Because someone once helped me when I was in need, and because kindness always comes back." She took him to her home, where he rested for days. Slowly, he grew stronger. The man's name was Daniel. He was a traveler who had lost his way, with no family and no home. But for the first time in a long time, he felt safe as he got better. Daniel watched Lily care for others. He saw how she helped the children in her orphanage, how she comforted the sick, and how she gave hope to the hopeless. He had never met anyone like her. One evening, As they sat by the fire, Daniel looked at Lily and said, "You have given me more than just food and shelter. You have given me hope. I want to stay and help you." Lily was surprised. "But your journey?" Daniel smiled. "My journey has brought me here, and I think this is where I'm meant to be." From that day on, Daniel worked alongside Lily. Together, they built more homes for the poor, planted gardens so no one in the village would go hungry, and made sure every child had a warm bed at night. As time passed, Lily and Daniel became best friends. They understood each other's hearts without words, and slowly, their friendship grew into something deeper. Love. One evening, under the same old tree where Lily had first helped Daniel, he looked into her eyes and said, "Lily, you have changed my life. Will you let me stand beside you forever?" Tears filled Lily's eyes, but they were happy tears. She nodded. "Yes, Daniel. Together, we will keep spreading kindness." Their wedding was simple but full of love. The whole village came to celebrate. Even the children from the orphanage danced with joy. An old woman in the crowd whispered, "See? Kindness always comes back." Years went by, and Lily and Daniel's kindness spread far and wide. They had children of their own, and they raised them with the same love and kindness that had changed their own lives. One evening, an old woman sat outside the orphanage, watching the sunset. It was Lily, now older but still with the same warm smile. A little boy came running to her and climbed onto her lap. "Grandma Lily, tell me a story," he said. She laughed gently and held him close. "All right, my dear. Let me tell you a story about a poor girl who had nothing but a kind heart, and how that kindness changed the world." As she spoke, the stars twinkled in the sky, as if the universe itself was listening to the story of love, kindness, and hope. Dear friends, this story reminds us that no act of kindness is ever wasted. No matter how small, it can change someone's life. Never stop believing in love, in kindness, and in the power of a good heart. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories. Your support means everything. Thank you for being a part of this journey. As the years passed, Lily and Daniel continued their work, touching countless lives. Their village, once filled with hardship, was now a place of warmth, love, and kindness. No one went to sleep hungry. No child was left alone, and no elderly person was forgotten. One day, a group of travelers arrived in the village. They had heard about Lily and Daniel and their acts of kindness. One of them, a wealthy man in fine clothes, stepped forward and said, "I have traveled far and wide, but I have never seen a place like this. How did you build such a community of love?" Lily smiled, her eyes shining with wisdom. "It was not built with gold or stone. It was built with kindness, one act at a time." The wealthy man looked around, seeing the happy faces, the laughter of children, and the warmth in every heart. He took a deep breath and said, "I was once a poor boy. Someone gave me food when I was starving. That kindness changed my life. I want to give back." He took out a large bag of gold and placed it in Lily's hands. "Use this to help even more people. The world needs more places like this." Lily looked at the gold, then at the man, and smiled. "Thank you. But true wealth is not in gold, it is in the love we give and receive." The man nodded, understanding her words. He decided to stay in the village and help, just like Daniel had once done. As the village grew, people from different lands came to learn from Lily and Daniel. They took the lessons of kindness back to their own homes, planting seeds of love in places far beyond what Lily had ever imagined. One evening, as Lily sat on the porch, watching the sunset with Daniel, he gently held her hand. "Lily," he said, "do you ever wonder what the world would be like if more people believed in kindness?" She smiled softly. "I don't have to wonder. I see it every day. In the children we saved, in the lives we touched, in the love that continues, even when we are gone." Daniel nodded, his heart full. "Then we have done what we were meant to do." Years passed, and Lily and Daniel grew old together. They had seen seasons change, watched children grow into adults, and witnessed the power of kindness transform the world. One morning, Lily sat under her favorite tree, the same one where she had once found a lost traveler, the same one where she had comforted the lonely and the poor. She closed her eyes, feeling the warmth of the sun on her face. A little girl ran up to her and tugged at her sleeve. "Grandma Lily, why do you always sit under this tree?" Lily opened her eyes and smiled. "Because, my dear, this tree has seen many stories. It has seen kindness, love, and hope. And one day, when I am gone, it will still stand here, reminding people of those things." The little girl sat beside her. "Will I grow up to be like you?" Lily chuckled softly and kissed the child's forehead. "You will grow up to be yourself. But if you always choose kindness, you will carry a piece of my heart with you." That night, Lily peacefully closed her eyes for the last time. She had lived a life full of love, and she left the world just as she had always wanted, not rich in gold, but rich in kindness. The village mourned her, but they also celebrated her. Stories of her kindness were told for generations, and her name was never forgotten. And the tree, it stood tall, its branches spreading wide, giving shade to travelers, children, and the lonely, just as Lily had once done. Dear friends, this story is not just about Lily. It is about all of us. We all have the power to change the world, one act of kindness at a time. So, let's carry Lily's lesson in our hearts. Let's be kind, even when no one is watching. Let's help, even when we have little. Let's love, even when the world seems dark. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming and inspiring stories. Your support means the world, and together we can spread kindness to every corner of the earth.